Hi, it's Martin. Welcome to another Knit365 vlog. Today, this is the Beauceron Diaries. I'm going to be sharing my progress as I make the Beauceron Sweater. This is a pattern by Vincent Deslandes. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I'm very sorry, Vincent. Vincent designs under the Delz brand, and I'll pop Vincent's details down below. This is a lovely yoked sweater, and it's the first project of 2021 that I'm going to be making for me. So I talked in my year ahead video that I had 9 projects that I want to make, and this is one of the 9. So I'm really looking forward to getting this started. I'm going to publish my end of January video in the first week of February. And then I thought, oh, what could I chat about sort of mid-February if I put another video live? And I thought, oh, I can share some progress on this jumper. It's not going to be interesting enough, I don't think, to follow all the way through in my usual format for the project vlogs, where I go from the beginning to the end, because once I've done the interesting part on the yoke, the rest of it is just a very simple stocking stitch, knit every stitch in the round, body and sleeves. So I thought I will record some footage over the next week or so as I cast it on and work on the yoke, and then I'll share that progress with you mid-February. So I've aptly named it the Beauceron Diaries, and I hope that you enjoy. If I zoom in on the picture slightly, you can see the lovely gold colour, and then you can see the silver, which is created by a slip stitch pattern. So I can't wait to get this started. I've got my wool, and I've chosen Croft by West Yorkshire Spinners. So this is DK, and this is the Colsay colourway. It's a lovely light grey. And then I've already wound this one. This is going to be my contrast colour, and this is Norby. So I think these two together, if I hold it up here, this is a better likeness of the blue. If I bring it in, it blows out slightly and looks a little bit lighter than it is. But it's a lovely, it's more of a petrol-y colour rather than navy. Dropped it. But I think these are going to look great together. Actually, show them. I've already wound 2 of them. So these are going to be my yarns. I'm wearing my thick grey cardigan. This is also in the Croft, but this is in the Croft Aran weight. And I love it. I wear this all the time around the house. It's so warm and squishy, and it was -2 here in Cardiff when I woke up a little while ago. So jumper is on, or cardigan is on, but I'm really pleased that West Yorkshire Spinners brought out this Croft wool in a DK, because I think it's going to be equally as warm and squishy. It's a great wool to work with. It's 100% wool, and it's Shetland Island wool. So it's bred in the UK and spun in the UK and all the other UK provenance things you want to say about it. It's a great wool. And I bought this from my local yarn shop, Ammonite Yarns. I had some money for Christmas and some gift cards. So I've purchased a sweater quantity's worth of yarn. I have 2 of the contrast colour, and then I think I've got 5 or 6 of the grey for the body. The project, of course, is going to live in a little grey girl, because you know of my love of Gemma's bags, project bag. This is one of the extra large bags, and I could probably put Mark in here if I'm honest. So all the wool will live in here. It's a great bag for sweater projects. So yeah, I think that's it for my introduction. I'm going to wind some wool. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will probably pop along at the end of the video and just kind of do a little bit of a wrap up. I hope that I will have finished the yoke by mid-February. I've got 3 weeks. That should be plenty. Yes, so I'm very excited. So grab a cup of tea, grab your knitting, your crochet, your spinning, any other form of crafting that you do, and sit back as I take you along my journey with the Beauceron. Okay, we haven't fallen at the first hurdle, but I've wound the wool and I've gone to cast on, and the recommended cast on in the video is the long tail tubular cast on. I've never done that before, but these patterns are amazing. I think I've said in some other videos before that knitting patterns would not pass a plain English test. I think they're very confusing. Lots of times you've got to try and get into the designer's head. Well, actually, in Vincent's patterns, this isn't a spoiler giving anything away, you get different, look at the cool little dude, you get lots of different bits of information. So, for example, there's a technique box. So, where it starts for the cast on, using the long tail tubular cast on method, contrast color and the needles, and then there's a technique box. If I click the technique box, it takes me to a YouTube link for where I can watch a video for that technique. How amazing is that? It's just, it's so clear that there's a technique. Do you know how to do it? No, you don't? Here's a link. It's exactly what you need in a pattern. So I now need to go and watch the video for how to do the tubular long tail cast on, which I think I've looked at maybe once before. I think it's the slingshot style cast on. I usually do the one around my thumb. I'm sure my around the thumb would be perfectly suitable, but Vincent's asked me to do the long tail tubular. I like to learn new things, so I'm going to go and teach myself that. Me again. It's really light here today. It's -2, but yeah, crazy early morning wintry sun. I've got my YouTube ready to watch, but I thought I would just show you how I estimate how much wool I need for the long tail cast on. So I give myself a little bit of a tail to sew in, and then I do the wraps. So I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I look at the length between where I started and where I finished and I did my 10. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and I need a little bit more, so I'll grab a tiny bit extra. So there's my length, and that's kind of how I measure it. I don't know, I think I saw someone do it on a video once and thought, oh, that's a really good idea. How do you measure yours? Let me know in the comments below. But now I need to watch the video and cast on. I'm hiding from the sun. Honestly, it's lovely and sunny, but it's not great for filming. Right, cast on is finished, and I've drained in the round, and I've just started the ribbon. I've got a bit of tail left, so I overestimated, but if that's helped anyone, great. Always better to overestimate by a little bit than realize you are short of 4 stitches, you've got to rip the whole thing out and start again, which I have done many a time. So there we go. This is my morning's work now. I'm going to carry on, and I've got to do the ribbing for, it's either 1 inch or 2 inch, I think. My iPad's died, so it's charging, so I haven't got my pattern. So I'm just going to carry on and rib for a little bit, and then I'll get the pattern out. So we have made a start. And there we have the finished result of day 1 of knitting. I finished a little bit later last night. It was a bit dark to film. So just showing you very quickly, this was 1 day's knitting. You can see I've done the rib on the collar. This is the front of the jumper, I think, with a shorter rib. We did some short row shaping, some German short rows along the back of the collar, which is going to raise the back of the neck up. I said I believe that's the right way around. And then we have the slip stitch pattern. So it's a lovely 4 row repeat. So rows 2, 3 and 4 are quite easy to manage. Row 1 has got the increases in, so you need to concentrate. And you are moving the stitches over, so you can see that's the stitch there, and then here it's here, and then here it's here. So you're moving the stitches over each time you repeat the pattern, so you do have to concentrate on that first row of the repeat. But just a quick popping in video. I don't think I'll be able to work on this now for a few weeks. I've got a couple of other projects to finish, but I wanted to share the progress. I know a few of you like a sneaky inside video, so the floats look lovely. I really like the texture. It's going to be almost double thickness. It's going to be really nice and warm. So there we go. That's pretty much Beauceron day 1. Good morning from the Beauceron Diaries. It is Saturday, the 13th of February, and I have a confession. I've not really done any more knitting on my Beauceron since you just saw that clip after day 1. Yeah, coming to the middle of February, and I wanted to get this video up because I was going to have the yoke finished. You know what? Life just gets in the way. Yeah, I'm not beating myself up. I'm behind the self-imposed plan that I set myself, but it's kind of one of those weird things about lockdown. Work, I'm very lucky that I can work from home. I've not been impacted at all by lockdown, but work has just been crazy. We've moved pretty much to Teams. I find I spend 5-6 hours a day on video calls, audio, chatting to people, and it's just a little full on. And the pattern is fantastic. It's absolutely not a problem with the pattern, but each time, so it's a 4 row repeat, which is fine. Row 1, I think I've said before, is where you do your increases, but the increase has to be in the right place, because in the slip stitch pattern, you need to, where you do the yarn over increases on row 1, they need to be on a knit stitch, not a slip stitch, because you can't slip the increases. And that's all it is. But each time you do a round, you would say knit 91 stitches, and then you do your increases. And then the next time it may be 103. And I haven't had the brain space to count to 90. Basically, I finish work most evenings. I'm like, oh, shall I do my bow? Oh no, I can't count that much. So I've not done anything on it really for over the week because I've just not had the headspace. And that's fine. You know, life gets in the way. I wish I had sorted out my Babette blanket though, and or the dotted rays that I'd mentioned in the previous videos, because I haven't done a lot of crafting in the last week because I've only got the Beauceron or the gloves, neither of which I really had the headspace. Unfortunately, I finished the perfect project for how I've been feeling after work, which were the flax jumpers, because they were just mindless, round and round and round and round. I have got my own flax jumper, but I can't remember where I am in the pattern. I don't think I've got the right needle tips on the needle because I think I needed them for something else. See, there's a lot of drama why I couldn't just grab my flax. But there we are. So, is my long-winded way of basically saying I've not really done a great deal on this, but we have a quiet weekend. Loki has just been dropped off. He is sleeping over for the night. We're helping my brother out. So we're going to have a bit of a lazy day. We'll take Loki out for the walk in a little bit. And then the rugby's on. We don't usually watch the rugby. We're not a big sporty household, but we don't mind supporting Wales. patriotic and all that. So I'm going to watch the rugby. I'm going to do some knitting. And yeah, I'll take you along on my day, my journey, and we'll hopefully make some progress on the Beauceron this weekend. I'm still planning on getting this video loaded mid-Feb, maybe next weekend. So depending on when you're watching this, this should be loaded in February. We shall see. Loki, come here. Come here. Who's arrived? Oh, look who's a good little boy. You gonna give me a paw? Give me a high five. Give me a high five. Yeah. Oh, you're just a little cutie, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Oh, we come for cuddles. Good boy. That's fine.
So Russell moves it on to House. Now it's just slides aside and shoots. And they're just checking to see who was behind Ali Grace, which they decided who was.
Good morning, YouTube. Sunday the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you that celebrate. We don't celebrate. Our anniversary is in February, and the first year that we got together, we didn't do Valentine's because our anniversary was 2 weeks later, and then we've just carried it on. So if you're celebrating, woohoo, I raise my coffee cup to you. If you're not, it's just another day, innit? Early morning, it's raining. I made some progress, drank a bit too much Prosecco last night, so I didn't make that much progress later in the evening because I made 2 mistakes. I fixed the mistakes, but I then thought, I'm not risking it, so I put the knitting down. So I have to go and walk Loki in the rain. He's going home at lunchtime, so I'm going to finish my coffee and then walk the hound and then do some more Beauceron. Or I might take you on my walk with me. I've shown a little bit of around by where I live. We've been to the barrage over on Cardiff Bay in, I think it was my West Knits wrap-up video of my mystery knit along shawl, my slip extravaganza, because I showed the shawl off by the water. So I'm just going to run him around the block. So I might show you that. But first, coffee. Back home from a quick walk. It was freezing outside, but I just thought I'd quickly show you this. I tried to show it, but I don't think it's worked. This is the barbel hat. I think it was for Shetland Wool Week. I think everyone made them. I was very late to the party with it. But yeah, so cutest little sheeps. And a lovely little Fair Isle design. It's quite big because I have a bigger head. I adapted the pattern slightly. So I added an extra repeat. So the pattern, I think the sheeps are in threes when you do them. So I added another 3 to make it bigger, which is why it looks enormous. But it fits me perfectly, and I can't remember the wool I made it with. If I can remember, I'll pop it on screen. Loki's eating his food, that's the clanging. If I remember, I'll try and pop it on screen if I can work out what the wool was. But it's 100% wool, and it is super, super warm. So for this really cold snap that we've had in the UK, and for walking Loki, as he stayed with us, it's just perfect. So yeah, so I'm now going to go back to my Beauceron sweater. I'm hoping I'll finish the main part of the yoke today. I think I've got like 12 more repeats to do, but I'm not planning on doing anything. I'm going to sit on the sofa and watch telly and hopefully do that. I will check it a bit later. Good morning. It is Monday, the 15th of February. Just a very quick check-in video. I had a really productive day yesterday. So while my laptop was booting up, that might have been the bing bong that you heard. I just thought I'd just show you my progress. I finished the increase section. So we are down. I've done all the increases across the yoke. The next section, I am going to add some length to the jumper. There are no more increases though. So actually the pattern, because of the mosaic, they don't line up in lines, they alternate. I'll show you in a moment. So the next section now, there are increases and decreases, but it means that the stitch count stays the same and it just alternates the spacing of the pattern. So even though I've got to do some counting now, I think it's easier, so I might be able to do a bit more this week in the evenings. But let me just quickly turn you around and I'll show you where I am. Here we go. You can't really see it. It's probably bunched up on the needles. This is the short edge of the collar. So this is the front and this is the back. But yeah, there we go. So each one of these grey slip stitches, that's a 4-row repeat with the green above it, or the teal, are we calling this? Petrol. The greeny line above it and the greeny line below it, that section there, that takes me about an hour. We're over 300 stitches now. It's quite big, quite bunched up on the needles. But that's the front of the jumper. Here you can see where I do the increases. So I've got the start of the round marker is here. So effectively on one side of the jumper. So you can see the increases here, which it's not a raglan shape, but it's raglan-esque. So you can see here's the increase, and then we've got a marker in halfway, and then here's the other increase. So that gives you the overall shape of the jumper. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I love how this slip stitch pattern is being formed. And if I show you what I just meant, so here you can see there's the slip stitch, and then the next row down, it's moved over by 1, and then the next row down, it moves over by 1. So the next section now, we're going to continue to add length to the jumper with the increase and decrease within the pattern that will just ensure that the slip stitches continue to alternate by 1 on every row, so that they're not lining up in neat lines. And when I've been saying in some of the other videos, I've been making some mistakes. That's where I miscounted a stitch, for example, and my slip stitches were sitting on top of each other, which is fine. I caught it early enough and was able to adapt my pattern. There we have it. So it's only Monday. I probably won't load this video until Saturday or Sunday. So I've got a few more days worth of knitting before I need to edit that together. So a really productive weekend. I hope you have enjoyed seeing my weekend, as well as watching some progress updates on this project. We've been out for a walk with Loki. We watched the rugby. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of life stuff on top of the knitting. I will record a little bit more footage now as I go through the week. I'm hoping it is a little bit more straightforward now, as I said, so I can get a bit more done this week. And then my original aim was to get this vlog loaded when I finished the colour work section, and then I was just onto the stocking stitch on the body. So I don't know, that might be asking a bit much with just a few hours knitting in the evenings. That might be a bit much to get done by the weekend, but who knows? It's Monday, it's the start of a new week, so we will see. Stay tuned. See what's coming up next. Crazy camera angles. It's on. So I'll show you in a minute. I've put it on an extended cable. I've got a little cable stopper to stop it falling. And yeah, last night I finished the increases. So I'm now about to split for the sleeves. I'm not so pleased with myself because, as you may recall from other videos, I don't tend to read the patterns all the way through. I like the surprise, and I thought when I split for the sleeves, that was it, I was done. And I thought I had a lot longer to go than I actually did, but no. I've finished the increase section and I'm about to split for the sleeves, but when I then split for the sleeves and I'll continue working down on the body, I think to about here-ish, and then it's normal stocking stitch in the grey colour. But when you come back to pick the sleeves up, you have to work on the pattern again. So I'm definitely not going to get all of that done before I load this video. So if I can finish the body section this week, I'll see how much of that I can get done before Saturday when I load this video up and edit it together. Glee's on in the background. Yeah, so there we go. I just thought I would quickly show you, and I love it. Nice little short neck. Excuse my beard, it needs a comb. Nice little short neck. Lovely little yoke. It fits really well. I was kind of between the two sizes that I'm making, but it's not too tight. It's not really loosey-goosey. There's just enough ease in it for my liking. So, there we go. A bit of an action arty shot. Onto the body. So welcome to the final part of my Beauceron diary. I'm just going to show you where I've reached as I come to the end of this week. So I rejoined in for the body, and the pattern asks me to continue with the slip stitch mosaic for a couple of inches, and I'm so nearly there to actually finishing this colour work completely. I've got 2 more repeats, which is 8 rows, so that'll add 2 of these little grey motifs to the jumper. It's Saturday morning. I've got a weekend of sewing planned. I want to make some curtains, so I could have fudged it and I could have carried on with the jumper, finished it, and then said, look what I've done. But life gets in the way. I haven't hit my own self-imposed target, but I'm so nearly there. So I'm fine with that. So I'm going to record a quick segment, get this uploaded, and then I'm going to get the sewing machine out. I'm really pleased with my progress over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I've done quite a lot of knitting on this project, and I'm pretty much there to then just work straight down on the body in the grey colour. I'm going to do this slightly differently though. Once I finish the patterning on here, while I'm in the mindset of how the mosaic works, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the sleeves, because where I've added length to the body here, I also add a similar length to the sleeve to carry the pattern on. So while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go back and just finish the sleeves off, and then all of the colour work is finished. I'm not using the wool recommended in the pattern. As I said, I'm using the West Yorkshire Spinners Croft. And when I did the conversion for how many balls I needed 2.3 balls of this contrast colour. I only bought 2 because I always end up with wool left over, and I thought I'll risk it. And if I need to order another ball, I will. But I think I'm going to be okay. I've got this left over, 2 more repeats on the body, and then that section on the arms. But what I'll do is I'll split this in half. So I have half each for each sleeve. And if I look like I'm going to run out, I'm probably going to be maybe 1 or 2 rounds short. It'll just mean the colour work finishes a slightly shorter than the body. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to split that in half, do each of the sleeves, and then finish the normal stocking stitch. Maybe I'll be able to start a new pattern. If I get to the plain stocking stitch, you know, that's proper TV knitting with subtitles, isn't it? So I'll need a harder project, something to challenge me. So I might start another project when I get this down to the body. But thank you very much for watching along with me. I really love the pattern. It's kind of, it'll sit here sort of midriff when the colour work is finished. So it's not a lot left to do on the body when I get to the plain grey. But I hope you've enjoyed following me along on my Beauceron adventure. If you ever get an opportunity to knit a by Delz pattern, or also one of Vincent's partner's patterns, Max, who did the unbearable hoodie that I've made, and the For Fox's Sake sweater, or something that they collaborate on together under the Legasson brand, I would thoroughly recommend it. The pattern, as I said earlier in this video, is so clear and concise. You know exactly what you need to do. If you're unsure how to do it, there's some great help available through links, information in the pattern. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm just a real big fan of all of their work and their patterns because it's really clear. And I think sometimes you've got to try and get into the head of the design and think, what do they want me to do? Or there's an assumed level of knowledge, and there isn't any of that with these patterns. So if you get an opportunity, I would thoroughly recommend that you do one of their patterns. I hope you've enjoyed following me through my little adventure in this mini project vlog. If you've liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like this series and you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button. It really helps me to grow my community, and it's free for you to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you want a reminder when my videos appear, click the little bell and you'll get a notification within YouTube that I've published a new video. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching and following along with me. And until we speak again, happy crafting.